that slide that you just showed there, that was from the Q3 earnings call. And I encourage everybody on this call to go watch the Q3 earnings call. I think this is equivalent to Michael Jordan in his prime. This was probably one of the best earnings calls, corporate earnings calls in all of financial history. I think it will be taught over time. So this is really appealing here because there's two things going on. They're looking to raise $21 billion via at the market equity offering, and then $21 billion via convertible debt issuance. So that gets us to the $42 billion figure. They plan to do that on a tiered basis over the next 3 years between 25 to 27. And I think this is incredibly appealing for the financial markets, right? If you were a corporation and you were concerned about adding Bitcoin to your balance sheet, well, guess what? You just got air cover. You got $42 billion of exit liquidity if you ever wanted to exit your Bitcoin trade. And this transparency from Saylor is completely necessary for facilitating corporate adoption from a widespread perspective. Obviously, there are some other hurdles that the market's got to get over with the accounting. You know, MicroStrategy is going to release the FASB fair value accounting in Q1 of 2025. I think largely the entire market is missing the impact of the accounting. And then if we get bank custody, institutional bank custody, we will see continued adoption from these large corporations that are going to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet to protect assets into the future.
And they have this plan, right? So there's going to be actually next year is going to be moving slower, and then so $10 billion, right? And the next year, 2025, 14 billion, then 18 after that, and maybe this is a great segue to this one. What do you guys think? How do you guys think this will impact a company like this? Market cap is at 47 billion or something right now, and they're raising like 80-90% of the whole doubling.
Yeah. It's a great question, right? But it's interesting if you look back. So August 1st, MicroStrategy released a $2 billion at the market equity offering. The price of MicroStrategy at the time was $153, and I think as of today we're trading at $230. So the market is telling you that there's demand there, right? So it's a crazy situation in which typically this would be dilutive, right? If selling shares at the market would be dilutive, but it's not dilutive, it's accretive. There's never been a situation like this in all of corporate financial history where they're actually adding more, they're adding more value by diluting or accreting to the shareholders. And over that time period as well, from August to now, the MNAV that people watch has actually gone up. It's increased, and I feel like that argument should blow up the MNAV debate completely, right? Like you just added $2 billion of liquidity on the market, and the net asset value went up. So, and if we think about index inclusion on the horizon too, so we've got QQQ potential inclusion. That's the NASDAQ 100. That's the 5th largest index ETF in the world. That inclusion happens in December. We'll find out on December 13th if they get included, and the rank day will be November 29th. And then increased weighting in the Russell 1000. That'll happen next April. MSCI Total World Index, that happens on November 26th. A rebalancing, and their market cap is significantly higher today than it was on the last rebalance. And then the S&P 500, which would likely happen at some point in 2025, which represents three of the top 5 largest index ETFs in the world. So significant amount of potential buy side volume and liquidity that could be added to MicroStrategy to facilitate additional ATM offerings. So I don't think the 5 billion is crazy by any means. I think just in this last year in 24, they did the $2 billion offering, and then the end of 23, I think there was another $500 million offering. I think they can handle it.